This is an Xbox.
Now this is not an Xbox, although Microsoft is trying to trick you into believing that it is. I'm here to tell you that only an actual Xbox console is an Xbox. A couple of months ago, Microsoft released a new advertising campaign surrounding the Xbox called This is an Xbox, where they showed people playing Xbox games on a variety of different devices that weren't Xboxes. Basically, playing Xbox games on anything that has a screen on it, like a smartphone or a laptop or an iPad. And they're trying to get you to believe that, hey, you don't have to buy an Xbox console because everything's an Xbox. You can play our games anywhere. But that should really come with an asterisk because they're not telling the whole truth. What they're trying to say is that if you sign up for their Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription service, you can play Xbox games via cloud streaming on these devices. But here's the catch. You can't play all Xbox games. You can't even play all of the games that are on Game Pass on the cloud streaming. But they don't tell you that up front.
For those of you who don't know what Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is, here are the features that are included in the subscription service. Now, there are cheaper tiers of the Xbox Game Pass service, but they do not include cloud streaming, so they are not relevant to what I'm talking about.
Now, when I first saw that this is an Xbox commercial, I was excited about it because at the time, I did not own an Xbox console, but I would really like to play some of those Xbox games, especially the new ones that were coming out, such as Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So I signed up for the Game Pass Ultimate subscription, which costs $19.99 here in America. And I tried to play some of the games, but it turns out you need a controller for most of them. So I went out and I got an Xbox controller, which cost about $40 here in America. And so then I was able to play some games. But then I found out that I couldn't play all the games because not all of them were available on the cloud. You see, I was playing the games on my MacBook Air laptop. And I figured, hey, that's enough. I got the controller and I can play on my laptop. That's what they said. They said everything's an Xbox. However, they left out some details, such as not every game is playable on the cloud. And also, not all of the games you buy and own are available on the cloud. So you can't stream all of the games that you own on the cloud. For example, I recently bought a game called Manhunt, which is from the original Xbox many years ago. Now, I bought it digitally through the Xbox store, but you can't play that over the cloud. You have to actually install it onto an Xbox console, either an Xbox One or an Xbox Series S or an Xbox Series X. That's it. That's the only way you can play that game from the Xbox store. You can't play it on the cloud, even though you own the game. As of right now, there's only a handful of games that you can stream on the cloud if you own them. For me, there are only 2 games that I can stream on the cloud that I own, even though I own a bunch of games, many of which are installed on my Xbox Series X 1 terabyte all digital edition console that I showed earlier in the video. And I bought that console during the holidays when it was on sale because of this reason. You can only play certain games on the cloud, and if you want to play a whole bunch of other games, especially really old games that you buy from the Xbox store, you're going to have to buy an Xbox console. Of the games I own, I can only play WWE 2K24 and Hogwarts Legacy over the cloud. Everything else, I got to play on my console. I bought a bunch of games during the holiday season because Xbox had this countdown sale where there were huge discounts on games. For example, Batman Arkham Trilogy, which the normal price is $60. It was on sale for $6. 3 games for $6. So I bought that. But I can only play 1 out of the 3 on the cloud because that one is actually a Game Pass game that anybody with the Game Pass Ultimate subscription can play. The other 2, I own them, but I can only play them on my console. Now you might be thinking, hey, you're talking about old games, but all the new games can be played on the cloud, right? Wrong. Even a game as popular as Elden Ring, which came out within the past couple of years, cannot be played over the cloud. Even though it's regarded as one of the greatest games in recent memory, You can't play that on the cloud. You're going to have to install it. Now, if you're a PC gamer, I got some news for you too. You might think that you're safe here because you have a gaming PC. You can download these games to your PC and play them, right? You can play all of them, right? Wrong again. Not every game can be downloaded onto a PC because some games are only released to consoles, such as UFC 5. That is the most recent UFC video game. In a couple of days, Game Pass Ultimate subscribers will be able to play this game as part of their subscription. It's part of their EA Play membership. I know this is getting complicated, but try to follow along. Now, the UFC 5 video game was released to the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X, not PC. See, I didn't know all that up front. I found that out later, but that's why I'm telling you right now. And another thing about cloud streaming, it's not totally reliable. It's dependent on the strength of your internet connection. Keep that in mind. Over the holidays, specifically a few days after Christmas, the cloud streaming went down. The whole network was not available. I couldn't play any games on the cloud. That includes all of the Game Pass games. That includes the games I own, like WWE 2K24 and Hogwarts Legacy, which are supposed to be available to play on cloud streaming, but they weren't because I don't have them on the console because I don't want to install them since they take up a lot of space. If you haven't noticed, games these days, sometimes they require 90 gigabytes of storage space on your console or 100 gigabytes or even more. I mean, it's ridiculous. That's why I play those games on the cloud. But when the network goes down for Xbox's cloud streaming, none of us can play any of these games. So then you don't even have access to games you own because if you don't have them downloaded to your console and then the only way you play them is on cloud streaming, guess what? You don't have access. Think about that. That's another thing I didn't know ahead of time, but I found that out the hard way. So during those days when everybody was off from school, off from work, between Christmas and New Year's, couldn't play video games. It's probably because so many people were trying to access the service because maybe a lot of people got new Xbox consoles or maybe they got an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription as a gift. So everybody was trying to use the cloud streaming and I think the thing crashed maybe. That's probably what happened. But that's something else to keep in mind. The cloud might not always be there when you need it. Good thing I had an Xbox console so that I could play some Xbox games. Now, if you had bought into this commercial that said everything's an Xbox, like your phone and your laptop and everything, and you thought, hey, I can play Xbox games whenever I want on any device. Well, during those couple of days, you couldn't. So for those of you who don't have a Game Pass subscription and you don't have an Xbox console, but you're thinking about getting these things, here's what to keep in mind. If you sign up for a subscription, my suggestion is get the Game Pass Ultimate subscription, not the Xbox Game Pass Core option or the Xbox Game Pass Standard option or even the PC Game Pass option, because all of these options are missing key benefits that are only available in the Game Pass Ultimate subscription, specifically cloud streaming. That's only available at the highest tier, the ultimate tier. The other ones don't have that, which means if you were hoping to get in the whole this is an Xbox thing and play your games wherever, you won't be able to unless you get the ultimate tier. The other thing to keep in mind is if you want the full Xbox experience, it's only available if you buy an actual Xbox console. And I would suggest getting an Xbox Series X console when it's on sale. Mainly because the Xbox Series S is not quite as powerful, but it's still almost as expensive. Because you see, there's different versions of it. The Xbox Series S, the base console that has 512 gigabytes of storage space, that's the cheapest version, which is selling for about $300 here in America. And 512 gigabytes is not enough space for that many games. Because remember, you're not actually getting 512 gigabytes. You're actually getting like 300 something. And that's not going to cover too many games, maybe like 3 new games. If you play older games, maybe you could fit some on there, but you're going to eventually have to upgrade your storage space. So there's no point in buying that version. There really isn't. Now they have the 1 terabyte version of the Xbox Series S, and that costs $350. But if you're going to get that one, you might as well just get the Xbox Series X 1 terabyte version, all digital edition, which came out a few months ago. That's the one that I bought because the retail price for that is $450 American, but I got it on sale. Don't buy it full price. Don't buy any of these full price. Wait until the holidays or Black Friday or some kind of sale. Just keep your eye out for a sale, and that's when you should buy an Xbox Series X console. If you want the full Xbox Game Pass Ultimate experience where you can play all of the games and not just some of the games. And it's really worth it because you don't want to just have some of the benefits of having Game Pass Ultimate because you are paying the full subscription price. So you should get your money's worth. And the Xbox Series X console is great. So it's worth having, but only buy it when it's on sale because these things are expensive. But when they're on sale, then it makes sense. And remember, only an Xbox is an Xbox. Nothing else is an Xbox.